Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Racha Kodash. A double honors to the apostles, elders of great millstones. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and sincerity. All right. Esau's delinquencies, all right, at an extreme level at the end, all right. Okay. And this devil, all right, Esau, Edom, okay, is going to be at the height of his wickedness, all right, in these last days, okay, because we're coming closer and closer to his demise, his destruction, which is prophesied, all right, in the scripture, okay. But at the end, he's going to bring forth all the wickedness that he can possibly bring forth to keep his enterprise going. All right, and of course, as the scripture said, when he go to fill his belly, all right, then the Lord shall, basically destroy him, roughly paraphrasing. But that scripture is in Job, all right, I believe the 20th chapter. All right, and I want to go into the word delinquency really quick, Salaki. All right, because this is Esau's traits. Does the scripture say he was estranged from the womb? All right, if I can't get delinquency on here, I'm gonna just look up the word estranged in Psalms 58, which explains his disposition. Okay, it explains his character when it comes to following a moral standard, a moral law. Okay, so Salakia, bear with me for a second. Okay, I didn't spell it right. Delinquent. All right, or delinquency. All right, it says failure or omission, okay, of duty or obligation. Okay, and this obligation, all right, anybody obligation ruling the world is to maintain it, all right, with equity, fairness, and justice, okay? And that's one thing that the so-called white man cannot do and will not do, because his empathy doesn't reach those lengths, all right, where it's on a humanitarian level, where it's, in other words, good for everybody else, all right? This devil only looks out for himself. All right, to fill his own belly, okay, so that he can get by, all right. And the part of his blessing, when you go into Genesis, the 25th chapter, all right, it says, by his sword shall he live. And when you go into that, all right, his weapon, because his weapon is just not, the physical weapon, a tool, but it's also his laws as well. Scripture tell you that as well. So let's get Genesis 25, and I'm gonna try to take my time with this. Lord willing, this is edifying. All right. Well, it's in 27. Okay. I think it's like 39 or something like that. There we go. And this is Isaac's blessing that he blessed Esau with, okay, which is profound, is a profound spiritual marker. And what I mean by that is that this is what he's doing in the earth right now as we speak. This is what was told. This is the blessing that Isaac gave Esau, and it was a perpetual blessing. And now we're at the end of that blessing, all right, and he's going to be at the height of his blessing, which we see, okay, and I'm gonna go into that article and pretty much using that to lay the foundation, but it's so much more. It's just one thing you can, I'm just pointing out. We can have a whole lineup of different articles showing you what this devil has been doing throughout history, Okay, so Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. All right. In the NLT it says, finally his father Isaac said to him, you will live away from the riches of the earth and away from the dew of the heaven. Basically he's going to cover, because the dew covers everything. You know, if you when there's moisture outside, all right, dew is somewhat like moisture, and it covers everything. The plants, everything is wet. So that's basically how he covers the earth. All right, he's everywhere. Okay, and you can read that in Habakkuk 2. He heapeth unto himself all people. Okay, he's everywhere in everybody's backyard, you know, claiming things that's not his. Genesis 27:40, it says, and by thy sword, and here's the point, shalt thou live. All right. Okay, it says, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right, and he broke the yoke from off the neck. All right, after the dark ages. Okay, the Byzantine Empire. All right, after the fall of the Roman Empire. Okay, there's a span of 1,000 years, somewhat 1,000 years. Okay, where during the dark ages, during the Moorish rulership, which were which were Israelites who were ruling in Europe. Okay, Esau pretty much emerged from from the depths and started to come into power. Okay, so but the point is here, by thy sword shalt thou live. Okay, and Salaki, I just wanted to take my time with this one, you know, because I'm a little tired. So, but it's all good. So, Lord willing, again, this is edifying. It says, so by thy sword, all right, which the sword means karab. We'll go into that. But the point I want to grab is live, because it goes into sustaining his own life through this sword. All right, sword, knife, tools for cutting stone, sword, knife, dagger, axes, mattocks, tool. So it's a tool. All right. All right. And this tool is in a sense used for killing instrument. Okay, let's go into the root word. All right, to be waste, lay waste, make desolate, be in ruins, and that's what he's done now through his military industrial complex. He's made waste parts of the earth. All right, through this tool that he was given as a blessing. So let's go back to that scripture. All right, and the word live, pretty simple. I know I'm dragging it out, but it's pretty simple. All right, the word is haya. All right, and it says, oops, salaki, chaya. Okay, chaya. All right, and it says to live. All right, have life, remain alive, sustain life, live prosperously. There we go. That's a good one. All right, that's how they've been living prosperously, through what? Through rape, robbing, and pillaging by the way of their sword. Okay, it says sustain life, live prosperously, live forever. And that's what they want to do. They want to live forever through what now is their technology. Okay, all right. Be quickened, be alive, be restored to life or health. Okay, from sickness, discouragement, fatness, from death. All right, we're seeing that through the transhumanist movement agenda. Okay, to restore life. So you get that. All right. So now let's go back to the lesson at hand, Salakia. Just figured I'd throw that in there, you know, because you find out that this man Esau was delinquent even from birth. Okay, he didn't follow none of the standard that his father Isaac set before him. Jacob did. You see, Jacob did. All right, and this is a part of the reason why Esau was jealous of Jacob. All right, even though Esau was favored in the eyes of Isaac. Okay. So Psalms 58. Psalms 58. All right. And 1. All right. Let's see. Oh, no, it's 55. Salaki. Psalms 55. Wait a minute. Okay. The word estranged. Did you find out that Esau? All right. Yeah, it is 58:3. All right. Okay, I just want the point here. All right. Psalms 58:3. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. All right. Speaking lies. These NLT. These wicked people are born sinners. Even from birth, they have lied and gone their own way, and that's what Esau did. He didn't follow the merits and the standard of his father Isaac. Okay, he was supposed to marry a woman of his own nativity, which would be his mother's kinfolk. Okay, all right, which Jacob did. Okay, all right, which was Lahab's daughters, Leah, I think. I forget the other one. So Salakia. It's been a while since I read it. But Jacob's wives was of his father's nativity or his mother's nativity. Okay. But Esau, he married a Hamite, which was outside of what Abraham and Isaac established. All right, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So this dude was estranged. When you go into this word estranged, okay, it just goes into his nature, okay, and that's what basically what we're addressing now, the nature of these devils, these Edomites, all right, and how now we got to the point where it is at an extreme level. I'm gonna show you that with the article, and other information that we see on a daily basis, okay. So Zawar, okay, to be strange, be a stranger to who? To the Lord, to his fathers. You see? To become strange another, so he had a whole another spirit. All right, scriptures talk about two manner of people in Rebecca's womb. All right, and that's why she was like, if this be a blessing, why am I thus? Why is this happening? Why are they fighting in the womb? All right, and we talking about fighting in the womb. We're not just talking about they just a little kicking, the stomach here. No, these individuals were fighting in the womb. Okay, so much so that Jacob was pulling on the heel of Esau. All right, so Esau was doing something in that womb that was pretty much probably oppressing his brother, man. That evil twin. The scripture talk about. Well, it's a movie called the Bad Child or something like that, or the Evil Child or something. It's with Macaulay Culkin. All right. See, he had a brother, all right, that he pretty much was trying to kill. He was antagonizing me on such a level that it was just, it was all bad. But again, it speaks to Esau's character, all right, which he doesn't have empathy, sympathy, all right. He doesn't deal in equity, and we're seeing that even till this day, all right. So it said, oh, look at that. It says strange woman, all right, and that's philosophy, all right. And I believe that's in Proverbs, the 7th chapter. When you read that, it goes into that the strange woman that flattereth with her lips, okay. And wisdom is likened unto a woman, okay, and that's why you get, she. When it describes wisdom, it refers to her. It refers to wisdom as a she, okay, because of its delicacy, okay. All right. So stranger, okay. All right, another opposite of what was already established, which was the laws, all right, and the merits, the standard that Yahushai breathed into Abraham and into Isaac. Okay, Jacob followed those merits, but Esau didn't. All right. So we got Esau at his in his very beginning stages here on earth. What? He was estranged from the womb. All right. Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All right. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers charming never so wisely. All right. Okay. And so what they're about, all right, is poison. Okay. As we see the world that they created, the establishment that they created, all right, the way of life that they live and produce to everybody else is damaging. All right. It's self-destructive. Okay. All right. Case in point, the new world, the NWO. All right. The whole new carbon footprint under the guise of global warming and helping the world thrive. Okay. All right. So it's self-destructive. All right. But hey, that's why Malachi 1:4 it says what it says. He is the border of wickedness. All right. And through his inception, we've seen him just bring forth wickedness on this earth. All right. So which brings me to my next precept. Okay. Second Ezra. All right. Then we're going to go to that article in Salakia. I don't know. I just wanted to take my time with this. I got a delay, so I'm going to take my time. Second Ezra 4:26. All right, I might just start at the point here. Well, no, I'll start at 26. It says, Then answered he me and said, The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. For the world hasteth fast to pass away. All right, we're in the stages where this world is dwindling at an alarming rate. All right, we're talking about the world's ecosystems are vanishing right before our eyes. And it's being generated. But we're being told by the powers that be, Esau, Edom, and his establishment, that the world is overpopulated, and this is the reason why. It's because there's too many people in the world and we can't feed everybody. Well, you destroyed the world's ecosystems. You destroyed the world's forests. You destroyed the world's oceanic life, which with your inventions, all right? With your inventions, that's how you've done it, through these different industries that you've set up. All right, you see? So it's more convenient for profit than to sustain the world. And that's why you're going to be destroyed and taken out of your position as the leaders of the world. So 2 Ezra 4:27, it cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come, which is the blessing that Jacob received in opposition to what Esau received. You see, our blessing, okay, is coming after Esau's blessing. Our blessing is what is going to restore the earth, because Esau's blessing is what destroyed the earth because of greed, because of his estranged nature. Okay. All right. So the world can't comprehend what's coming. All right. Because they don't see that light. All right. The good news, the gospel. And that's why you got the world hate. You know, they pretty much hate it when we speak about the dominion of the kingdom and putting the nations in slavery, which these people were meant to be servants to the children of Israel, who's going to righteously rule the earth in equity and in justice, not injustice. All right, which Esau's system is set up on injustice. I call it the criminal injustice system. They say the criminal or the criminal justice system, but it's the criminal injustice system. But in the kingdom, when Israel is ruling, we're going to have a justice, all right, that's going to not vilify, but vindicate all those who be oppressed and all those who are poor and wayfaring. All right. So let me continue. It says, this is for this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. You see? Okay? So people can't comprehend the wave of righteousness that's coming, because there's an unrighteousness rule in this world. All right? And the world is suffering more and more and more under this rulership. All right? Because of the unrighteousness, because of the laws that were changed, and the laws that's made against God's universal law. You see? And they like to have it so because they don't know any other way. They only know greed. And I'm speaking on Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They don't know equity. They don't know fairness. They don't know humanity or humane. All right? They're inhumane in nature. Okay? Because everything is self-driven. Okay? Everything is about self. And when you look at the society and people, how people act, that's exactly how the rulers act. Okay? According to Sirach, the 10th chapter. All right? As the leaders or as the king, so his judges. You see? So at the highest level, at the lowest level, when you look at the court systems, these are some nasty people who don't care for human life. All right? They don't care for a humane standard for all people. All right? This society was established, all right, on the most nastiest mindset that you can possibly think of. And that's prejudice. All right? That's what they call racism. Hatred towards another race because of who they are. Because, and the scriptures say that. All right? The scriptures say that what? The nations hated us because of what? Who we were. Okay? I forget the exact word that it uses. Okay? They hated us because of how the Lord made us. Okay? So let's continue on, because the point is coming. I know I'm dragging it out, so Salakia. It says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. You see? And one of those evils that was sown was dealing with Esau, Edom. Because through them, First Maccabees would tell you that wickedness increased in the earth under that rulership. You see, they brought the Greekish fashion to the world. And within that Greekish fashion, you had all type of perverseness. You had sexual perversion. You had philosophy, which is another perversion. All right, opposite. Okay, and we're talking about the self-fulfillment, lust-fulfilling merits that they're pushing to the world. All right, which is unsustainable. You see, now they want to bring a solution through the guise of global warming and carbon footprint tracking and all of this. Well, that's just another mischievous way to bring forth more greed, so they can hoard everything to themselves, and so they can get off on oppressing the weak. All right? All right? Because their intentions are not to help anybody. All right? The scriptures say they're physicians of no value. Okay? When you look at their industries, big pharma, all right, big medical, all right, big agriculture, okay? And these different think tanks that set up in the order to oversee these things, it's killing these people. It's killing the earth, because that's their agenda. All right? For the evils are sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. You see, you'll never get these Christians to talk about these issues, these things, okay? All right? And this is when wickedness start to increase in the world. First Maccabees 1, all right, and 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Alexander who? Alexander the Greek, the Macedonian, okay? All right, I believe his father wasn't Antipater, but his father, I forget exactly who he was. And we used to always say his name. It says, and his servants bear rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. And through these men, evils were multiplied in the earth. Let's continue with 2 Ezra 4 and 29. All right. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So we know that the current situation that we're in, the current establishment, has to be done away with in order for the good to come. All right, verse 30, it says, for the grain of evil seed had been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. All right, and that starts with Cain, because Cain what? Committed the first murder. You see? All right, and if you up on your reading and up on your stories and understanding the scriptures, then notice Genesis the 27th chapter, after Esau retained a blessing from his father, even though he was undermined, all right, by Rebekah, which the Lord put the spirit on Rebekah, all right, to have Jacob dress up as Esau so he can receive the blessing of the kingdom. All right. But if you're paying attention, Esau swore an oath, all right, a perpetual oath, to murder or to kill his brother Jacob. All right. Okay. Which goes back to his estranged nature. You see? Okay. So let's continue. It says, for the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up until this time. You see, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? All right, and now we're dealing with his extremism, all right, his delinquency, all right, his sociopathic, all right, psychotic ways. Here's an example. Okay, Supreme Court. By God, it want to mess up on me now. Okay, so it says Supreme Court prioritizes expedience, and I'm gonna read a whole list of articles that's covering the same topic. Supreme Court prioritizes expedient, not justice. You see, and wrongful convictions. Okay, we're going to read a little bit of this article, but basically what it's dealing with is that if somebody is being convicted of, all right, and they had ineffective counsel, and they they brought forth more evidence outside of the counsel that they were given, evidence that could clear their name, the Supreme Court will not allow that to be processed. Okay, even though whoever counseling these victims of the injustice system, all right, Salakia, all right, lost my train of thought. Let's continue. It says the Supreme Court just said that evidence of innocence is not enough. You see that? This the devil, and the federal court is set up so that the state at a state level, if they're doing anything unequitable, all right, the Supreme Court is supposed to come in. Now we know that these certain states have very unethical rulings, all right, in the criminal injustice system, okay, and they've been locking people up at an alarming rate, regardless of how innocent they are. Okay, there's countless situations where people had wrongly identified, all right, as an accuser, from an accuser, you know, and it just goes on, man. But it just shows you that this devil is truly the devil. There's absolutely no justice. Okay, and these things are going to get worse because of what? The NWO, the dystopian world that which they're creating through the pandemic. All right, it's only going to get worse. You know, habeas corpus. All right, not allowing people to have due justice, a right to counsel. All right, a right to see a judge. People are going to be locked up. You know, and that's just how this devil works, man. He's very evil and sadistic and very unfit to rule this world, and that's why he's going to be taken out of the way. All right. Supreme Court hobbles challenges by inmates based on poor legal. All right. Supreme Court Guts Lifeline. Here's the one I read it earlier. For prisoners who claim wrongful convictions. Let's go into this. All right. Okay, and it shows you his estranged, his inhumane ways towards towards mankind. Mainly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because again, we're talking about a perpetual blessing that they have throughout all history, and now that they're at the height of it. And guess what? All right, it's all predicated off the hate, all right, that Esau had for Jacob. All right. So Supreme Court Guts Lifeline for prisoners who claim wrongful convictions. Decision bars federal courts from hearing new evidence not presented in a state court as a result of ineffective legal counsel. You see? So they can't even hear or deal with the new evidence brought forth. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday gutted constitutional protections for that for years have provided a federal lifeline to innocent prisoners facing prolonged incarcerated or even execution following wrongful convictions stemming from poor legal counsel given to them by the states. All right. And the real matter is that it's more convenient of just locking people up and feeding people to the system rather than giving them justice, because it's all about money when you're dealing with the so-called white man. All right. And what he should have realized is that he never really counted the cost, so to speak, or he never considered the latter end, as the scripture said. All right. These injustices is going to be brought back to the forefront. All right. When your judgment comes, the scripture said the Lord requireth all. He required things that which is past. All right. So all these things are going to be brought up in your judgment, and now they are, even with these lessons that's going out. In a 6-3 ruling, all right, look at that, 6-3 ruling, and that's that number, man, 6, because he comes in the vibration of 6. These devils, these white people, all right, the newly dominant right-wing majority of the nation's highest federal courts from hearing new evidence that was not previously presented in a state court as a result of the defendant's ineffective legal representation. The decision means that prisoners will no longer have recourse to federal judges even when they claim they were wrongly convicted. Now imagine that, being locked up forever, okay, knowing that you were innocent, okay, and the people that's supposed to be pushing justice in the earth and supposed to be presenting equity around in the world, the established world, are not doing their jobs. Imagine that. You see, but if the shoe was on the other foot, then you would definitely hear an uproar. You see, but is nobody gonna save you, because the foot is, I mean, the shoe is gonna be on the other foot, because you devils, you so-called white people, you're gonna have to drink the cup of trembling. All right, you're gonna be punished by the same punishments that you've punished us with, but double. All right, and that's the Lord's judgment. All right. The decision means that prisoners will no longer have recourse to federal judges even when they claim they were wrongly convicted because their lawyers failed to conduct their cases properly. The decision, all right, eviscerated the Supreme Court's own precedent in a move, you see, their own precedent, okay? So they set the standard, and now they're not abiding by it, okay? It says that the 3 liberal injustices called illogical and perverse in a dissenting opinion, all right, Justice Sonia Sotomayor slammed the decision, warning it would lead many people to face incarceration or even execution without a meaningful chance to vindicate their right to counsel. You see? And this is just one step to this imperialist, tyrannical rule, all right, this dystopia. Because when the grid shut off, just wait. When the grids shut off, when communications go out, these devils are going to be doing heinous things to people, okay? But they've been given the power to do so. That's Revelation 6, all right? They've been given the power to do so, all right? But also, there's always a double-edged sword, because they didn't consider the latter end. All right, that's all I'm gonna read on the article. You can read it for yourself. All right, let's go into more precepts.